There we go. That's what I was looking for. We start with the record. LeBron passes Kareem to become the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Here's the king after the game.
To be able to be in the presence of such a legend and great as Kareem, it means so much to me. It's very humbling. Please give a standing ovation to the captain, please. To my beautiful wife, my daughter, my two boys, my friends, my boys, my family, my mother, everybody that's ever been a part of this run with me the last 20 years, 20 plus years. I just want to say I thank you so much, because I wouldn't be me without y'all. I would never, ever in a million years dreamt this even better than what it is tonight. So, man, thank you guys.
There we go. Here's the most career points all time. LeBron now number one.
Yeah.
Nick, how significant is this record?
Well, if this record doesn't matter, then no NBA records matter. But first, I want to talk about that moment, because that was a great moment, because LeBron and Kareem have not always had the greatest relationship. And what you saw on the court right there, and I know we'll get into it later, is, in my opinion, the two greatest players of all time, with a little passing of the torch. And you also had another Mount Rushmore guy that you saw right there in the crowd, and Magic Johnson. It would have been nice if the other member of that Mount Rushmore, Michael Jordan, could have been bothered to show up, but I'm sure he had some golf to play or something. But when it comes to LeBron, well, I don't know, listen, he owns a team. Seems like a big night for the NBA. All the greats were there that are alive, and Jordan wasn't there. That's fine. It does strike me as worth noting this. Yeah, the Mount Rushmore guys. Noting this, bro. LeBron was the most hyped athlete we've ever had in any sport, bar none. And he now has somehow exceeded the hype. He has not just lived up to the hype, he has exceeded anyone's realistic expectations. And with this record last night, he adds to his own personal record books. He will go down in history as the NBA player who has made the most money on the court, who I believe, best I can tell, has donated the most money off the court, has done it in the public eye without a single public incident of note in a negative fashion, has done it for 3 separate franchises across 2 full decades, and now he owns what appeared to be, for my entire life, an unbreakable record. A record that, when we talk about guys today, well, how could Luka break it? Well, if he plays another 15 years and averages as many points per game as Michael Jordan did, which is the most in league history, he has a shot at breaking it, depending on where LeBron leaves it. I think this record stands the rest of my life. I think it is a testament to the fact, Brew, that a guy who nobody thinks scoring is what he does best, he now has done that more than any player in the history of the league.
No, well said, Nick, and you're absolutely right. And I want to start off by congratulating LeBron. This is a fantastic achievement, and you're absolutely right. When you think of a lot of the GOATs, if you will, they very few of them were prodigies. Obviously, Kareem and LeBron. Michael Jordan was not a prodigy.
Correct.
Kobe Bryant came out of high school, but he wasn't viewed as, like LeBron was, or even maybe like Kevin Garnett was when they came out of high school. Tom Brady, Joe Montana. Nobody expected them to do what they... Heck, Nick, even Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
He was the number 10 pick in the draft.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so this is incredible what LeBron's done. And LeBron's got a special place in my heart, real talk. Because my parents, obviously, I lived in Northeast Ohio, where he's from. My parents lived there and followed him since high school. The day the Cavaliers won the lottery to draft him, my parents went out and got season tickets. And it just gave them something to do together in their older age. And they went to games throughout his first tenure with the Cavs. So LeBron's got a special place in my heart. I was at his first game when he didn't have a great preseason. And he goes in the first game, and Sacramento was great during that time, 2003. And he puts 25, 9, 6, and 4 steals in his NBA debut. And LeBron, and last night you saw this. Other than Dallas, and we may get to that later, but the Dallas finals, other than that, he has always risen to the occasion. And last night, he put the pressure on himself. when he showed up in the tuxedo, and that's when I thought, oh, he's going for it.
Yep.
He shows up in the tuxedo, all his family and everybody, Kareem, Magic, everybody is there, many at his invitation, childhood friends, high school teammates. Like, he put the pressure on himself to go get it and then to rise to the occasion and do it in 3 quarters. It was tremendous. But, Nick, I do want to say this about the record. I think this has not historically been as big as Major League Baseball's home run record, right? 714, Babe Ruth was etched in our minds. 61 with Roger Maris. 755 with Hank Aaron. This has been more like the NFL rushing record, where Emmitt Smith has it. Great. It's awesome, but it's never been like this record that everybody points to. What I'm going to say is this quickly. Because it's of LeBron's larger-than-life persona and his greatness, he has made this record more than it really has ever been. And with all due respect to Kareem, it now is a bigger record because he has it, and rather than it was before.
So this is where I stand on the NBA record book, because I do feel like so much of NBA history is reverse engineered to tell the Michael Jordan story. The reason that if this record doesn't matter, then what we are, or I know you're not saying doesn't matter, but isn't, a top tier record, then I think what we're saying is the NBA has one record people care about, 100 points in a game, and that's it. And I disagree. Because you can't point to anything else, and the only logical reason I can find for that is because the guy most people have considered as the greatest player ever doesn't hold any of the records. But I am as certain as I am that I am sitting here right now, that if Kobe Bryant had broken this record, it would be treated as if it were the most important record in league history. Certainly, if Michael Jordan had broken this record, it would be treated as if it were the most important record in NBA history. So I would just ask, if this record isn't something, then does the NBA have no records that matter? Like, what is the record then? It's not the steals record. It's not the assist record. What is it?
I think people, Nick, would look at championships, even though that's Bill Russell. I think they would look at MVPs. If you get Kareem. 7, now you've topped Kareem. I think points per game. And we'll get into this longevity versus peak. But I just don't think the NBA records. I mean, Larry Bird is 36th in the league in all-time points. And yet almost everybody has him as a top 10 player. Tim Duncan, 16th. Karl Malone is 3rd in total points, 7th in total rebounds, and he's nowhere near the top 10 discussion. Dirk is 6th in total points. Is he the greatest scorer ever? It's not a slight on LeBron in this mark, but this has never, that's not how the NBA has measured the all-time greats, by how many total points or total rebounds. It's more per game in the NBA.
I thought that was very interesting. I thought something that's being overlooked is how LeBron has been able to manifest everything he set out to do. And you touched on it a little bit, Nick. But just to put it into, average person's perspective, if you try to have a to-do list of, 7 things that you want to get done this month, you might get to about 5 of them. You're like, I got to get my oil changed. So it's hard to get stuff done. And he has set out and accomplished so many things on his checklist, from, obviously like winning a championship for Cleveland, attacking this record, empowering Rich and setting up an entire agency. Like, you know what, I'm not going to go see, I'm going to do this. And everybody's like, no. And it worked. Setting up a whole media company. It worked. The school works. Political activism works. It has all manifested, and there is a certain unstoppable nature to his velocity to get things done that I think is just amazing. And on the micro level, everyone, and Broussard, you mentioned it, when they saw him in the outfit and he came with his headphones, like, oh, he's going to do it tonight. 36 points is not easy to do. And it's like, oh, this is fait accompli. Of course he's going to do it, because he's able to bend, the NBA universe and the world to his will through determination and hard work. It's amazing.
Listen, I echo all of that, and I think it does speak to that. I think, Wild, you might have taught me this phrase.
Oh.
That at times, and we're about to do it in about 60 seconds, but comparison can be the thief of joy.
Oh, yes.
Which is because so much of LeBron's entire career, up to and including what we are going to do right here, right now, has been about comparing him to ghosts and legends. We have not taken as much time to stop and say, my God, he did everything.
Yeah.
He did everything he said he was going to do. And now, some things, I'd never heard him mention the all-time scoring record until a few years ago. And now there is a new thing on the list, and that is play with his son. And that is something that I think we all believe, whether it's on his son's own merits or not, LeBron will bend that universe to his will as well, to use your turn of phrase, and make that a reality.
LeBron also broached
Wild.
Oh, go, bro.
Can I add one quick thing to what you said?
Of course.
The family that raised LeBron for about a year and a half or a few years when he was, a young kid, the Walker family, when LeBron was in 7th grade, and they told me this story, and the grandfather of the family went to pick LeBron up from school. The principal of the school rushes out to meet the grandfather and says about LeBron, this kid could be the president of the United States. This is when he was in 7th grade. I don't know that that's on LeBron's list, but if he puts it on the list, who don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. But that's the type of person and effect he has on people, and he accomplishes things, no doubt.
I like it. That's a high